This is the voice of Marie Burke, and it's 2026. And this year, I decided to take a break from doing stage and on-screen acting to pursue my love of voice acting, along with playing the best role ever, that of a full-time mom. How am I doing this? I gave myself the challenge of getting into the voiceover booth as often as possible and then sharing on social media 1-minute video journal entries of what I'm working on that particular day or week. Here's the recap for this month. Thanks for tuning in. Hello. I totally forgot to do my video journal yesterday, but I did do some voiceover work. I was working on an audition and it was perfect. It's someone who's been watching these videos. They saw something on Instagram and forwarded it to me, and it was for an animated series. And the character that I love that they put so much detail into what the character was like, because I said, this is me. I'm going to take the time to do this. She was bright. She was upbeat and she was warm. And I said, that's who I am. That's what I want to do. So thank you, whoever you were, you know who you were, for sending that my way. We'll see what happens. But my goal for tomorrow's video is to send you a link of my finished kids audiobook reel. Yes. So that means I'm going to have to work on it tonight and tomorrow. And hold me accountable, guys. It's coming. I have some really exciting news. I just got home from a really long day, and my 2-year-old, he had a skipped nap today. He walked himself upstairs, grabbed his passy, climbed on his bed, and went to sleep. Like, seriously, in about 30 seconds. It was amazing. But that wasn't originally the good news I was going to share. I was going to share that I did it. I did the audiobook reel for kids. I recorded it last night, and it took me, I'm going to say, about 2 hours. I was getting really nitpicky with stuff, and there was a couple of things that I hadn't edited this way before in my my recording software. So I had to do a little bit of learning there. But I'm just so excited. That's the link that you see here. So please go to my website, check out those reels, and I would love to know what you think. Next up, we're going to do the adult one. You are catching me while I am feeling fresh and ready to go because I just took an afternoon nap. There is nothing like an afternoon nap. One of the kids got up about 7 or 8 times last night. I still don't exactly know why. I'm sure we'll figure it out as the hours and days continue. But yeah, definitely needed one of those. So now I am ready to go. Mine is renewed. And what I'm working on today, 2 things. One, I'm putting together my March compilation video, which is a compilation of all the videos that I have done in March, all of these little 1-minute updates, because some people said it's really helpful to see them all together in a row. You'll all already find January and February's compilation videos on YouTube. I'm also going to put on YouTube my kids audiobook reel. So instead of just having those 3 individual clips that are on my website, I'm going to put them all together, and you can listen to all 3 of the clips in a row on YouTube. I hope you check it out. I was just going to post my audiobook reel just as an MP3 online, but you know, I keep learning of new ways to make things bigger and better, more visually appealing. So I saw a couple of voice actors who have had really cool YouTube videos, and it's just like a cool graphic or something in the background. So I found some cool templates on Canva that I was playing with. I know a lot of you guys are like, hello, duh. This is like such old news. But, you know, you can't be an expert in everything, and I did just figure this out. So I spent a lot of time just playing with the settings. I did put together my audiobook reel and use one of those templates. It's so cute. I love it. Oh my gosh, please check it out. And while I was doing that, I went back and looked at my compilation video for March for these videos, and I found a typo, and it is driving me nuts. But I am not going to go back and re-upload that video. It is what it is. But if you're the first person to find that typo, I will buy you a coffee. Just spent the day teaching an on-camera acting class for my young actors. It was a lot of fun. There was a ton of stuff that we covered. I didn't even try to put in anything about voice acting because there was already enough content, but hopefully I will be able to share that with my campers in the coming years. What I'm going to do with the rest of my day is just take a couple of minutes and do the tedious but necessary work to actually put my audiobook reel into the places and platforms where I can actually get some auditions and book some jobs. Now, again, my focus this year is really just about learning these platforms, learning the art, learning the techniques, and just really becoming a better voice actor. And that means marketing. So I'm going to be posting my audiobook reel on LinkedIn. And it also means just researching and setting up my platforms on things like ACX, which is where a lot of audiobook actors post their reels and get their jobs. So let's continue. Today I submitted my first audition on acx.com. That stands for Audiobook Creation Exchange, and it's a website that some other voice actors told me about. And it's a place where people who write their own books can go and post their books and get professional voice actors to audition to read their books. And it's also obviously a place where voice actors go to create profiles and then audition for anything from self-help books to kids' storybooks to fantasy novels, anything you can think of. So after I actually submitted this audition, I got, lost on the site and was just looking at everything that was there. And so some of the things that I'm going to be researching is how do I make sure that I am charging a fair rate? As a professional actor, and then also how do I sift through content that's probably not going to be worth my time. I have one major takeaway that I want to share with you today, and maybe you can relate. But before I share that, I want to share how I got there. I had to do some mind work today. That was my voiceover work, was really focusing on my thinking process and how I was feeling. Because I listened to a podcast episode yesterday and it was focusing on casting for voice actors, and it was filled with so much helpful information. But I was shocked. At the end of that episode, I felt so defeated. So quickly I got depressed, like, what am I even thinking? What am I doing? I haven't gone far enough. There's too many other amazing voice actors out there that I don't even compare to, yada, yada, yada. It was crazy. And so today I started the day, I prayed and I said, no, you know what? I can easily sabotage myself if I focus on these lies. So my takeaway that I want to share is don't focus on the lies. Look at the people around you who are telling you how helpful it is, whatever you are doing, how it's helping other people, how you're bringing light to the world. Don't give in to the lies. This morning, I took a little detour from doing actual voiceover work because my daughter goes to a co-op on Mondays for her homeschool, so I have a couple hours to myself without either kid. So I knew this was a time where I really needed to hunker down and focus on the marketing of voiceover, specifically creating a CRM, a customer database, where I can keep track of the people that I've worked with, people that I want to work with, people that have heard my reels in the past, people that know I'm a voice actor and could utilize my services in the future. This is something that I was not excited about. It's a super daunting thing to me, the whole idea of direct marketing and just emailing people and stuff. I mean, I know there's people out there who understand. But I'm really starting to love the idea of it. And I really did love putting together this CRM. It's probably the project manager in me. So stay tuned, because next month I'm actually going to focus on a lot of the little business aspects of voiceovers, because a lot of people want to know, how do you do that? How is it different than on-screen acting? How is it different than just regular jobs? Today was super simple. The only thing that I did was post my audiobook reel on Instagram. I realized that I hadn't really been posting on that barely at all since I put a pause on doing on-camera acting. And I've got an audience there that's been following me for like the last decade, and I figured they probably want to know what I've been up to in this new phase of life. So I'm really glad that I did that. Now I'm switching gears. Besides just focusing on some logistics of voice acting, I want to get back into just doing some of the basics, which is doing my warm-ups and taking content, practice content, and just practicing reads, doing auditions, yes, but just practicing reading and adding Marie into the copy. There's no other Marie out there. And so that's something that I really obviously want to do, because I'm creating all these tools, but I want to get some jobs eventually. Again, that's not my focus this year, but I need to start practicing. So that's what I'm going to be moving into next. I want to shout out today Tim Powers, a voice acting coach who I just did one session with, but it really stood with me for a long time. He said to put the jazz in my voice, the jazz. And then he said, your homework is to go listen to Anita Baker. And I was like, I really like Anita Baker, but I never thought about the fact that the specialness of her voice is adding all of these little things in her songs that you're not going to find on a lyrics sheet. It's just what makes her her. And so I need to find the jazz in my voice. What does that mean? It means learning how to find the things that are Marie and put them into my reads. If you ever hear me in these videos or you're just talking to me as one of my friends, like I just am naturally who I am. I hope so at least. But as an actor, you train all these years and then you go and you do an audition and then you oftentimes, you can sound like an actor or forget all those beautiful little pieces. So today, I'm just finding them again. The weekend has started out great. I started off doing another workout session with other voice actors. That really just sets the tone for my day. I absolutely loved it. But I was also thinking today would be a great time to tell you guys about the rom-com formula. It is the weekend, so you guys have time to listen to these 9 episodes. I am in episode 8, around the 16-minute mark. This was a voiceover job that I recorded last year in 2025, and it was actually my first voice acting job in over a decade. And all 9 of the episodes are out now, and it is created by Susan Cooper, who is a veteran voice actor for romantic novels. And it has a ton of other voice actors who just lend their skills in such a way. It was so cool listening to it. It feels like you're watching a movie. I had actually never listened to an audio drama before, not since War of the Worlds. So check it out this weekend and let me know what you think. Enjoy. This is definitely one of the coolest voiceover experiences that I have ever had, and it was quite by accident. I went with my family to the YMCA on Saturday. They were having a special event with a lot of different vendors. And one of the vendors was a couple of young guys who were demonstrating an app for kids, and it focuses on real world situations like buying groceries or depositing and withdrawing money in the bank. I thought that was so cool. So my daughter, who's in kindergarten, she was playing with the demo. And while I was watching it, I said, what this is missing is a voice to navigate the kids through, to tell them they're doing a good job, or to even read some of the instructions that have some bigger words. So I just got a brochure of the guys, told them I'm a voice actor. I said I would love to send you a demo that can maybe help your app and help the kids engage more. And so I just sent it to them. It was so much fun to do this. I literally was like, I could do this in my sleep. This was so fun. That's the kind of work that I hope to do, and I hope it really helps them out. So let's stay tuned. Remember when I said that I was working on finding the jazz in my voice, which is something that a vocal coach had shared with me? Well, today was a really good opportunity. I teach acting classes for kids, and I was creating a little promo. So I was talking to myself in the camera for several minutes. That's always fun. And when I was looking back at the videos, I was noticing all these weird, quirky things that I do just from being me. But then I also noticed there was a part where I would start to not sound like me. I would sound like I was just saying all the lines and hitting all the beats and everything. I was not connecting. Connecting is the word of the day for voice actors, and probably the word of the year and the decade. But anyway, I digress. So it was great for me to go back and look at those videos and see which things I could change, which places really shined, and how I can translate that into my voiceover work. It's all connected. I've got a special guest here inside the booth today. It is my little boy, Dominic. He's kind of trying to hide from us. But actually, I haven't been doing a lot of voiceover work inside of the booth over the last couple of days. I've been spending more time on the computer and actually doing some of the behind the scenes work that you need to do in order to have a voiceover business. Some of the things I've been doing, just responding to emails, but also connecting with a lot of voice actors on LinkedIn, because I learned so much from other voice actors, and the place where they live is mostly LinkedIn. Yeah. I've also been researching some resources and some other platforms where I can get some more auditions, and I've been cleaning up my desktop. Every time you have an audition or you create a reel, you've just got so many files all over the place. So I really need to finish that today. Welcome to another update from Marie inside the booth. To those who have joined us before, thank you. And to those who unfortunately are not here, well, we still wish you well. And when you need us, you know where to find us. So, who is this us that we're talking about? Well, obviously, it's me, myself, and I, and all the crazy characters that I come up with here inside of the booth. So, this last weekend, I was telling ghost stories, campfire stories to kids, and it was really cool. I'd never done it before. But in order to get into the space, I had to lower my register and speak a lot slower, which was great for me as a voice actor. I really had to practice going to a different space because obviously I speak fast and I speak high. So, yeah, you can learn a lot from campfire stories. So stay tuned. Well, most of you know that I have two little kids, ages 5 and 3. So today I did an audition and I did that audition as quickly as I could. And that's part of why I'm just continuing to practice every day, trying to get better at my craft so I can do these auditions quicker. Because for me, I don't have a lot of time when the kids are away, and I don't want to stress my kids out by trying to rush them for things or ignore them and be like, I can't help you right now because I'm working on something, so figure it out, because I've definitely done that. So now that the summer is coming, what I need to do today is sit down and figure out how can I get some time to do my work, because the youngest one, the little boy, he doesn't have preschool anymore. So now I just really only have his nap time to do everything, including voiceover auditions in that time. So wish me luck. Hey, I'm here inside the booth again, and I just want to start off by saying this week has felt really good, and I really want to make sure that I acknowledge that, because of course I have shared before when it doesn't feel that way. And I want to credit it with just starting the week off with prayer and just being like, God, I'm trying to do this voice acting business. I have a limited amount of resources, a limited amount of time, a limited amount of energy. Like, just guide me with the few steps that I'm making. And I totally feel like he answered that. I have joined a Facebook group this week and made some really great authentic connections with the voice actors there, and we share good news and we support each other. It's awesome. I also got some news yesterday that a commercial, an on-camera one that I did a couple of years ago, they want to renew it. Obviously, I had nothing to do with that, so I'm just really grateful for that. I'm going to take this and continue to go on with it throughout my week.